Hello everybody, welcome to another month of VinePath. VinePath is a wine club put on through Baco's Wine and Cheese in Boston's Back Bay. My name is Mariana, I am the wine buyer there, and every month I pick a few wines surrounding a topic or theme and we explore it through the lens of wine. This month we kept it simple. It's March, still chilly here in Boston, but it's super bright and sunny. The trees are starting to change. Produce in the supermarket is starting to change. Our moods are starting to change. And so the theme is spring wines. Wines that emulate spring and are getting us ready for warmer days, longer days. We're doing 2 reds, 1 French, 1 from the country of Georgia, a Pet Nat, and a Rosé. Up first, we've got the 2022 Los Chuchaquis Pet Nat called Champelli. We've had wines from this producer before, Ryan Sturm, behind Sturm Wines. He's a young, I don't want to say up and coming because he's definitely been on the scene for a bit, but he's like part of the new age California. In his own words, his mission is to find the most unique and rugged vineyards in the central coast of California and use those grapes. So definitely varietals that we're not used to hearing from California. Los Chuchaquis is his project with partner Jan Hakimian. They're making very food-friendly, exciting wines. This is a Pet Nat made out of 100% Albarino. So a grape you associate more with northwestern Spain in the Rías Baixas area. They are growing it in California. 2/3 of the fruit here are from Roerich Heritage Vineyard. If that name sounds familiar, Matthew Roerich, he's big in the preservation of lesser typical grapes of California. He's behind Forlorn Hope. We've had his wines on VinePath as well. And 1/3 of the Albarino is from C5 Vineyard, which is in the San Ynez Valley. And the style that they were emulating is a col fondo, which a col fondo is an ancestral method or Pet Nat wine from Emilia Romagna. And those are more rustic, I guess you could even say like the wines that farmers and winemakers drink during the year. I'm getting a lot of like salty pineapple. It's a little briny and there's definitely a yeasty component to this sparkling wine. Citrusy. The palate is very leesy, so again, I've used this word a lot, that like yeasty characteristic that reminds me of bread and beer. You can definitely find it in wine. Pina colada, citrus, really minerally, really good acidity. I would want to have this with a crudo, maybe like a scallop crudo or maybe a snap pea salad. Up next, we've got a staple in the wine world. If you've never had it, I'm so excited for you guys to try this. This is Bunan's 2022 Bandol Rosé. There's a lot of legendary producers in Bandol. Bunan is maybe a lesser known one, but they do really classic, beautiful expressions. Bandol is located in southern France, very close to between Marseille and Aix-en-Provence, in the Provence region of France. This part of France actually gets the most sun of all of France. It's a very warm, sunny, Mediterranean climate, drastically different than, for example, northern France. And there's a lot of history in Bandol. It has winemaking history dating back to Roman times in the 5th century. It was referenced many times to have been on Louis XV's table. He is said to have drank it quite a bit. And it's actually one of the first areas in France to become an appellation in 1941. So it's a region where they make beautiful reds, they do make whites, but it's a region where they take rosé very seriously. This is not a place where rosé is trendy or a fad. These are some of the most well-structured, deep rosés that you'll find that are definitely food friendly. And this rosé, in fact, is a food rosé. Definitely not the type of rosé that goes down like water, that you don't need food necessarily. Sure, you can do that with this, but there's a lot going on and it will benefit from a beautiful meal. The king grape of this area is a grape called Mourvedre. Really awesome because Mourvedre, you do see it in other parts of the world, especially Spain, but it's usually a blending grape and it's not usually the star. In Bandol, Mourvedre is definitely a star. It's still blended with other grapes. This rosé is a blend of Mourvedre with Grenache and Cinsault, 2 other grapes typical in southern France. And Domaine Bunan is a family affair. It's a winery that was started in the 60s and 70s and is now being run by the kids Francois, Laurent, Claire, and Philippe, and they're all about their sustainable organic practices. On the nose I get banana, melon, lavender, peach, And boy, that is one intense mouthfeel. There's a little bit of tannin, but more than anything, I just get the lush texture. It's a little briny, there's a little salinity in here. These vineyards are really not far from the ocean. Another reason why Bandol, being so close to the port city of Marseille, was well recognized in the world because it was exported to many parts of the world. On the palate, there's even more fruit. Many that I mentioned on the nose, but even like blueberry. The finish is very herbal, almost like lightly spicy. This is a hefty rosé. It does evolve too from when you first open it to if you wait a few hours. You don't want to have it so cold because I think it does benefit from a little more room temperature. But I would definitely have this with a hefty salmon dish. I think it would be beautiful with salmon, especially with a lot of herbs. Around this time of year, it's still chilly, and I do like a deep, spicy red, but maybe not as heavy as what we tend to drink in the winter. Enter Mondus. This is Domaine Vendange 2020 Mondus Les Cotes, they call it. This is from the Savoie region in France. We're close to the border with Switzerland. Climate is cool. This is an area where the whites tend to be fuller body and the reds tend to be a bit lighter. The beautiful thing about Mondus is it can have a lot of concentration and personality because it does have thicker skin, but the acidity and because of the climate, they're never heavy wines. Domaine Vendange is a husband and wife operation, Diane and Benjamin, and they make an assortment of wines. Mondus you hardly see outside of this region in Savoie. I'd be curious to see where else it grows, but I really like this grape. I instantly get a lot of like blackberry, but immediately get this herbal component that's like black tea. Again, a lot of concentration. It's like pomegranate, it's juicy, but the tannins are still present. There's like a cocoa peppery thing going on. This is exactly the type of wine I want to be drinking in March. Would be a good Easter wine, would definitely go with like lamb, but gamey meats. But even a good old pizza, like maybe like a house-made pizza with some sausage would be delicious. Speaking of wines that go well with lamb, Saperavi. So we've had Georgian Saperavi on the Vine Path before. This producer is a new import to Massachusetts. They're a really cool story. So this winery is located in the Shilda village in eastern Georgia. It's a father and his son and daughter operation, the Mariana family. And their family has been involved in growing grapes and wine for the last 100 years in this town. But it wasn't until Georgie, the father, started the Champelli winery in 2001 that things really took off for them. They do make whites, ambers, and reds, but their highlight is definitely the Saperavi grape, the most popular red grape of Georgia. And the cool thing is that they're all about comparing more European style, so more styles of Saperavi in stainless steel or large oak, and comparing that to the more traditional Georgian way of making wine, which is in the underground Qvevris, those big clay vessels that Georgia is famous for. And they like comparing vintages, so they definitely want to encourage people to buy cases at a time of this wine and age it for many years and just go and see how the Saperavi progresses. We're doing the 2020 Saperavi Qvevri, and I absolutely love this wine. Beautiful, lush, purple color with almost fuchsia undertones. The nose is vibrant of raspberry, almost like a creaminess to it, like raspberries and cream, wild cherry and tobacco. There's definitely like a light, ever so slight smokiness. The palate is medium body. The tannins are firm, but like very well integrated. It's very balanced with the rest of the wine, with the rest of the fruit, and the acidity just makes you want to keep drinking it. I honestly think this is the type of wine, it's so well balanced, you could just drink it on its own. But it would still go really well with maybe some braised lamb shanks, something rich like that. I've tasted some of their other wines that are really good, but I think their Qvevris are the ones that have more unique sense of Georgian terroir, probably because of the Qvevri aging. Definitely a winery to keep your eye on. Thank you so much for joining me this month. I look forward to your comments or feedback, so make sure you subscribe to this YouTube channel and leave your comments in the section. What do you like to drink in the springtime? Don't be shy. If you're interested in joining Vine Path, please follow the link in our bio to find out more. We operate through Table 22, and I hope you guys are all having a beautiful start to the spring. Until next time, cheers.